I joined the press on Tuesday the 21st of October 2003 at Belfast International Airport to await the arrival of Concorde. The aircraft was making a week of farewell visits to a different UK city each day, giving thousands of people a chance to see Concorde and say their own goodbye. Concorde's maiden flight was 34 years ago. Now hundreds of well-wishers have arrived at the airport to witness Northern Ireland take its place in aviation history as Concorde touches down at Belfast for the final time.
There it is. As Captain Mike Bannister, Chief Concorde pilot at British Airways, brings the aircraft to a stop, the characteristic drooped nose of Concorde, used to improve pilots' visibility for takeoff and landing, returns to the supersonic flight position, and the protective shield slides up over the window. Concorde's main undercarriage runs on 8 massive slick racing tyres pressurised to 207 pounds per square inch. The first person to appear out of the aircraft and wave to the waiting crowd is Concorde's Chief Cabin Crew Director Emma Wakefield. Emma joined BOAC, the forerunner of British Airways, in March 1971 and has been a stewardess on Concorde for the past 4 years. More than 2.5 million passengers have flown supersonically on British Airways Concorde since she entered service in 1976. Unfortunately, in the last few years she has been flying with only 20 to 30 seats filled. It was with regret that British Airways announced on the 10th of April 2003 the retirement of its fleet of 7 Concordes on technical and commercial reasons. British Airways has organised this farewell Concorde tour of the UK, which will involve the supersonic aircraft paying a final visit to Birmingham, Belfast, Manchester, Cardiff and Edinburgh between October 20 and 24th. Hundreds of competition winners and their chosen guests will be on board Concorde during her final flights around the UK. Concorde measures 204 feet in length, but that stretches between 6 and 10 inches in flight due to the heating of the aircraft, which also ensures the airframe is effectively corrosion-free. The 4 engines, specially modified Rolls-Royce Olympus 593s, give more than 38,000 pounds of thrust each, with reheat. This adds fuel to the final stage of the engine to produce the extra power required for takeoff and the transition to supersonic flight. They are the most powerful pure jet engines flying commercially. As the ground staff prepare the aircraft for the return flight, the press start on their round of interviews with passengers and flight crew. Emma, who is originally from Rathfriland, was pleased that her elderly father was able to be here for this special farewell flight. As the interviews continue, the feelings of the crew and the specification of Concorde are given. She has a range of 4,300 miles, carrying 100 passengers and 2.5 tons of cargo to the very edge of space, over 11 miles up at a cruising speed of 1,350 miles per hour, more than twice the speed of sound. A typical New York crossing takes a little less than 3.5 hours. Travelling westward, the 5-hour time difference means Concorde arrives before she is taken off, in local time at least. Concorde's fastest ever transatlantic crossing was on February the 7th, 1996, when it completed the New York to London flight in 2 hours, 52 minutes and 59 seconds. The lucky prize winners and their guests were treated to a champagne reception, while outside the camera crew interviews continued.
What's your main job here at Belfast International Airport?
Well, my main role is Business Development Director, responsible for aeronautical development. Today, obviously, I'm holding a PR function, assisting British Airways with cabin crews, etc. for the arrival and departure of Concorde.
Well, certainly very important aircraft visiting here. Were you here? Actually, it was here about, I think, 10 or 12 years ago.
Yes, we've been fortunate. We've had Concorde in about an average of about once every 18 months between British Airways and Air France for the last few years on various functions, and I've been here on a number of those occasions.
Concorde's position as the flagship of British Airways has rested predominantly on its service, both on the ground and in the air. The new interior lighting and seats in ink blue Connolly leather with contoured headrest make for a much lighter and brighter interior, leading to a saving of almost £1 million a year in fuel efficiencies. Among the passengers travelling to Heathrow will be more than 20 lucky Northern Ireland prize winners, who successfully entered a British Airways competition. The Northern Ireland winners are among 300 UK regional prize winners who won tickets to fly on Concorde during her final week in operation. From a rolling start, Captain Mike Bannister brings the 4 mighty Rolls-Royce Olympus jets up to their full 38,000 pounds of thrust, and Concorde powers up the runway. At 250 miles per hour, her nose wheel lifts and Concorde will leave Northern Ireland for the last time.